On today's show, we've got some bold predictions for 2024, all things AI and marketing. We're going to talk about who are going to be the AI winners and losers next year, what impact Apple Vision Pro is going to have. We're going to talk about our M&A deals going to grind to a screeching halt. We have so much to cover, plus some really funny Kieran stories. You got to stick around. It's going to be an awesome show. Let's get into today's episode. Let's talk about our predictions where AI can take over our lives so that we can spend more time drinking wine.
All right, let me go first.
All right, okay. I'm going to open up the prediction show. Go.
Just because I love this tweet. My prediction is AI will not destroy the world. And so if it will not destroy the world, what will it do instead, Kipp? Well, here it will create awesome videos.
Oh, goodness.
Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen this. Go.
So look at the tweet. AI will destroy the world. Meantime AI.
It's hilarious.
I love the shorts on
the shorts
Biden
on Boris Johnson are amazing.
We start our prediction show with like an optimistic view. What we're looking at here is a fun video. Like people in the RSS, if you're not watching on YouTube, we are starting with a fun video that you need to really go to YouTube to see in its full glory. But it's of political leaders with some pretty tight shorts doing some like cool dancing.
So your prediction for first prediction for next year is that AI will not destroy the world. It will
instead be
lols. Stupid shit, just like we have done technology.
It won't destroy the world. Instead, it will just be a bunch of lols.
Okay, all right. Memes and lulls, brought to you by AI. Okay,
memes and lulls.
That's fantastic. You know, I want to build off of a prediction from our good friend Dharmesh Shah, one of HubSpot's co-founders. We did an awesome blog article on HubSpot around predictions and insights around AI in 2024. Dharmesh was in there. A friend of the pod, Matt Wolf, was in there. And Dharmesh had a quote that marketers need to recognize how far AI has come and how fast it will be moving before deciding that AI cannot help with a given task. Try it. What couldn't be done a few months ago can be done now. And so I think that is my big prediction, is piggybacking off that I would say half of the stuff we thought we couldn't do this year we'll be able to do next year. Right. AI is moving fast is really the tagline here. And what that means to me is like, a prime example of this is like localization, making a video and doing it in 7 different languages, or writing an article and having it instantly translated by AI across 30 different languages, what have you. That's not quite there today. I think 6 to 9 months from now, it's going to be really good. Right? And so I think this prediction is you're going to have to keep revisiting your use cases every 90 days because it's moving so fast that every 90 days, it could now be possible to go and do it again.
Yeah. You have to relook at every problem through the lens of this potentially could be possible now with AI and like recalibrate whether it's doable or not. I think that it's going to get better in a bunch of different places. Like one of the places that I am curious about, like one of the predictions we can make is the average marketer will be able to ship some form of video next year. There will be a tool that will allow a marketer like to ship a production ready video. So I got access to Pika, right? This is the video tool. I'm subscribed to every single early list of every single video tool.
And so and by the way, if you want us to do a separate video on Pika, hit us in the comments because we've been talking about it. Kieran, go into your video prediction. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, yeah, so you might not be able to do one on this right now. So this is my prediction is I think video will get much better next year, and I think we will start to be able to ship something. The average marketer will be able to ship something through these video tools. But I did play around with this, and boy, it's got a long way to go. I just did a bunch of weird prompts, but they all ended up with like things disappearing into a pizza.
It's just really weird.
It's so weird, dude.
Why are there so many things disappearing? What did you type in?
You
have a dog disappearing into a pizza.
I have 3D style Pixar animation depicting a dog chasing the pizza with legs, right? Disappears into a pizza. 3D style Pixar animation showing Jurgen Klopp lifting the Champions League against Man United. And you get I don't know what that is. Jurgen Klopp disappeared into something. Donald Trump dancing in the Nutcracker, and he's disappearing into something. And then I got heroin dark fantasy program. I actually stole this from a prompt they had recommended, but it's just like a weird thing going into something. They all went like awry. And so there is a lot of work to do in video. I will play around with PCAT and I will come back with some good examples of this. But at the moment, there is like video tools are really hard to miss. You saw the one I did with HeyGen as well. I think HeyGen's a good tool, but again, it's like still a little clunky.
Okay, so your prediction, video is going to get a lot better because it has to. It's not quite, AI video is not where it needs to be. I'm going to restate that and see if you agree with that. I felt like in 2023, at the start of 2023, AI image generation was where AI video is now. Where it was kind of okay, but not really that great. And by the time we got to the end of 2023, it's like, it's now really good. It's not maybe 100% of the way there, but it's really good. And I think you're saying that video is going to make kind of that similar kind of leap in 2024.
I think they are making that leap, but you still actually need video expertise to be able to do a lot of that stuff. Like it does democratize it and makes it much easier for people to do. But there's going to be some other video tools that marketers can just run in a no-code kind of way, like really easily create videos from. And I think we're going to see an explosion of that, continue to see an explosion of that in 2024. I think there's going to be more progress on the video side of things than there is like on the tech side of things in 2024. I think that's one of the places where I'm excited to see the development there.
Okay. My next prediction is I want to do a little set of FANGO predictions. So that's FANG plus OpenAI companies. What's going to happen? This is my take. Microsoft's going to be the steady Eddie. They've got a good relationship with OpenAI. They're going to kind of ride that train, and it's going to go pretty well. Apple is going to go from being kind of not really talked about in the AI race to being a player in the AI world. Amazon is going to drastically boost up its AI presence in Amazon Web Services. That side of the business, I think, is going to get far more AI dominant, and AI tools are going to get in the hands of way more developers, which I think is awesome, and we're going to get a great revolution of apps there. I think Meta has done some very cool stuff on the AI front. I won't say quietly, but they're not as talked about as frequently as OpenAI and Google. I think they come up to be a top player, rivaling kind of Google and OpenAI. Google is the one I don't know about, Kieran. Gemini looks promising. They bait and switched us on those videos.
Yeah, they really bait and switched the videos,
which was a real bummer. I am going to be an optimist and say that Google figures out AI search better than everyone else, but I think they're going to be a laggard in other parts of AI is kind of my take. I do think they're going to lead in AI search because they have the best data set and they're the experts there, right? Like that's what's going to happen. OpenAI, I think they're going to be aggressive and they're going to try to ascend closer to the other FANG companies. And because of that, I think you're going to see them consider doing things outside of what they've currently been working on, which means more consumer type products, which I think you could consider. We've heard rumors about a phone. If they're doing a phone, it makes very, very logical sense that they could do a web browser. They could do some type of modern Excel based on code interpreter that really makes data analysis exceptionally interesting. They could work on potentially like a mail client or some reimagination of the email experience. Like those are the things that would really assert them to the top level to be more in line with those other really substantial tech leaders. Right. What do you think?
Basically compete with building an AI first version of like Microsoft. A lot of their best-in-class products.
Microsoft / Apple. Like a lot of the core consumer products that Microsoft and Apple has, like building an AI first version of them.
One of the interesting things about Apple would be how do they AI player and do they actually build or buy? Because one of the predictions you could have is they swoop in and buy up an Anthropic. Are Anthropic...
Well, you're stepping on my next prediction, my friend.
Someone buys Anthropic?
No, my next prediction is nobody buys nobody.
Yeah, let me see. Is Anthropic
Nobody's going to buy anybody because Adobe
invested by Google?
Adobe just got the Figma deal killed. We're at the end of 2023. The acquisition of Figma couldn't get past regulatory approval, which means that all of next year we're going to have the same administration and we're not going to see any big deals get. I think it is the safest prediction I feel like I can make in 2024 is that no major deals get done, especially in the AI space. It's got too much attention from regulators. It's not going to happen. And wow, I think there's a carry-on effect of that. That means the AI startup valuations are going to cool off a little bit because there's not going to be these big exits that are going to fund these VC investments. And so we're still going to see a lot of investment in AI companies, but I think the valuation is going to come down as some of the projections around what the actual exit opportunities for these businesses are.
Yeah, the M&A thing is, I don't know, that has to sort itself out, or it leaves, I guess it would be like, make money, but you don't have the path to go public. So it kind of is a lifestyle business because you don't have an exit.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a cash flow business.
Yeah, it's a cash flow business. And so I really hope that gets sorted out. Like, it's a weird thing with the UK because it's based upon, at some point in the future, Figma could have competed with Adobe. That actually should rule them out acquiring them. Not that they do not compete with them today. So I really hope that does get sorted out because it's silly that those deals can get.
But
held
look,
up.
we're making a bunch of predictions today. The one I feel the most confident about is that no big deals get done next year, especially in the AI space.
Yeah, I agree with that. I have another one here in OpenAI. I think OpenAI killed the GPT store.
Oh,
I think
you think it was a nice idea, but in practice, it's not going to be a thing. Oh,
It's
I like
a
that.
PR,
That's a really good one.
PR launch. Like, I've played around with it a bunch. I don't know if there's any kind of sticky use cases there. There's some like internal use cases that are cool. Like, I really feel for this product to catch on and be something, there's a ton of work that OpenAI need to do. And I really wonder how committed they are to that store. Like, it doesn't really fit into the business in any kind of meaningful way, I don't think. Like, how do consumers build these kind of custom bots? Or maybe they kind of blow it into something. You can create custom versions of OpenAI and integrate them into your business much easier. But I don't know, like their first store, the plugin store, didn't really go anywhere. Didn't really have product market fit. Didn't really have great use cases. It had a couple of plugins that were cool. The GPT store is actually even maybe worse because there's no friction to creating GPTs. And so you have like thousands and thousands of like really bad GPTs. And I just think that there's no barrier to entry makes the store unusable, right? If you're creating an app, there's a barrier to like launching the app within the app store. There needs to be some friction and some quality bar to get the GPT into the app store and to make it usable. Or I just don't see how people are going to sort through the noise and actually get any use of it. Now, that doesn't mean that the GPT functionality isn't going to be useful for creating internal bots that we all use. Like, I could have a couple of internal bots that I use. It just means the store part won't be there, right? That I won't be able to upload to a store, monetize in a store. This is not the this is not the app store for OpenAI. I still don't think they figured out what that store is.
Okay, I love that. So you're thinking OpenAI kills the GPT store. I have an interesting one, Kieran, and I want to ask you a question on this prediction. Do you think the Apple Vision Pro will be the most interesting hardware device of 2024?
I'm trying to think.
I know you're trying to think what else could be there. So
yeah, I think of things that I know that are launching. Like the one that would be the most interesting to me is some version of some beta version of the OpenAI phone.
I don't think the OpenAI phone can get to market next year. And if that's the case, I think my prediction is that the Apple Vision Pro will be the most interesting / important hardware. I don't know if it will sell all the units Apple's making, but I think from technologists, we will think it's the most interesting piece of hardware, and it will probably get named by most of the publications like the technology innovation of the year.
Agreed. I think it will be the most talked about innovation of the year.
Are you getting one?
What are you going to use it for?
I
would get one if they could use it for virtual poker, where I could gamble.
Virtual poker. Yeah, sure, Kieran.
I'm telling you, that would be a great use case.
Poker,
Sitting around a poker table with your friends with some like virtual reality headset on.
I want to experience the FaceTime thing. Yeah. It just seems interesting.
That does look good.
Maybe I'll get you one just so we can FaceTime each other in 3D.
We just do the podcast through the Apple
just
virtual reality.
Through the Vision Pro. I don't know. The answer is it might not use it for anything because we don't know the infrastructure yet.
Yeah.
We don't know what the software infrastructure is really going to be. What I know is Apple is really good at hardware, and it's going to be V1 hardware, which is going to be not awesome long-term, but will give us the map as to where things will be probably like 24 months later.
I think the reason to buy it is because I think it's the same as anything, right? The early adopters, you really want to see what the future looks like. I think this is probably going to be first version of something that becomes a large part of our lives, and so you want to be first within like trying to make sense of it. I would like to know what I would use it for.
My piggyback prediction on that is 2024 is the year everybody realizes that being an early adopter is the way. Because everything's commoditizing and getting to competition so quickly now, you need every day, every week you can get, and it's forcing more and more people to be early adopters and to take more risks and spend time on things that are more speculative. And I think that's a good thing for society. It causes us to get out of ruts and innovate and do new things. But I think 2024 is going to be the year of early adoption.
One reason I might buy it, because I do love watching movies. That is one of the premier use cases of it.
It seems like the movie watching experience is going to be amazing.
And honestly, if it is a good virtual reality, like if it makes you feel more with a person, like if you actually feel more connected to that person. I have 2 brothers in Australia, so I would be.
I'm selling you on it. You're considering
I would actually buy them one each and then be able to be more connected to them in our calls. And so that would sell me on it, actually, if I could do that.
Right. So, all right. So jury's out on Vision Pro. I'm probably pre-ordering. Kieran's considering it. If we do, we'll do a show and everything there.
So I think the other thing that I really think will get more press around AI in 2024 is open source. Like I've really been tracking the feeling towards open source. I think open source LLMs are getting really good. They're not as good as OpenAI. They're not as good as some of these closed models, but they don't need to be for specific use cases. And I think more and more companies are realizing that the best path may be not one model, but many small models and these open source models where you can easily plug and play to do the use case you want to do and fine tune them to your needs. And there's a bunch of new companies coming out that helps other companies fine tune these open source models and use them within their companies. So I think we're going to see the SaaSification of like open source models, easily pick them, easily fine tune them, use them securely, safely within your business. And that's going to be a big part of how companies integrate AI into their workings. And 2024 is going to be a real evolution towards that and acceleration towards that.
I actually agree with you on that. A part of why I think Meta is going to have a bigger role in the AI landscape. They've been very active in open source this year, and I think that's going to set them up for good success next year. My question for you, prediction question, is what aspect of marketing is going to be most impacted by AI in 2024?
Everything post lead capture.
Ooh, tell me more.
So I think like chat, email personalization, outreach, all of that stuff. Like one thing you could argue is AI starts to make marketers question what personalized marketing is.
Yes.
Because we get so good at personalization that it actually becomes depersonalized. Because what is personalization if every brand does it and you understand, the consumer starts to understand this is the AI doing this for me. So it doesn't feel personal. Like it feels personal, but I understand that it's not personable. Now I think you do understand that with marketing automation to some extent, but I still don't think most consumers do. Like when they get something personal, even when it's created in marketing automation, because it's not widespread, it still feels personal. Like I always go back to the example. I think Patrick Campbell does a really great job of this. Profitwell, his emails, sometimes I have went to respond to them because I actually felt like he emailed me. And like that's the feeling you get still from something that is truly personalized. It does like jump out. It feels different.
It does.
What happens when every interaction feels that way, right? Then I start to go, well, I understand that this is part of what AI does, so it doesn't feel personal, even though it is personalized towards me. And so I think I have seen companies get much, much better through AI at the personalization of marketing when we capture some amount of data and then we can actually integrate external data and the AI can start to figure out how to create much more personalized marketing for that person, whether that's the email, the personal video, a personal web page. It can construct them all on the fly. It does make me question, like at the end of 2024, do we have to like really think through, well, what do we mean by personalization in an AI era?
Okay. We come back to that in a second. But my prompt here was the part of marketing is going to get impacted the most by AI. I think it's going to be organic search and search engine optimization. You're saying it's post lead capture.
Yeah, because I don't think the search
build
gets
on. Hold on,
cannibalized.
let me finish, and you can go.
All right.
I'm going to say that I agree that there's going to be the most positive impact post lead capture, and that 2024, if you're a marketer, is the year of conversion rate improvement. So post lead capture, I think AI and ad tech is going to get a lot better. Like your conversion rate and your cost per conversion should get better. It might get harder to get more volume of traffic, contacts, leads, etc. in 2024, but it should be the year of the conversion rate improvement in 2024.
Yeah, and I think your point is we start to see the true cannibalization of search in 2024 because Gemini, Google are really now all in Gemini. I read their patent on. They have this whole paper on how to integrate AI into search, which is part of Gemini, and you can actually see the direction they're going. I do think we're now at the part where this is going to be an acceleration. Like Google are really, we have to make this work, whether we want to or not.
Correct.
We're all in, and so we're going to just have to accelerate through this. Brands have been thinking this is going to happen, but I don't think many companies have seen the true impact of it, right? Like Stack Overflow, these kind of companies, they've seen it, right? Their traffic has been reduced by 50% because people go to AI versus going to like a Stack Overflow or one of these Q&A sites. But I don't think we've seen it in terms of the traffic we get from search engines. But I think to your point, 2024 is when I think we'll start to see it because it's just becoming much more of a learned behavior, and Google are going to accelerate that.
I totally agree. All right. I think that covers a lot of our predictions. I have one last prediction question for you, one last look back question. What was your favorite look back on 2023 moment of the pod? What was your favorite 2023 marketing against the grain moment?
It's crazy that this was this year. I think it was like when OpenAI came out with the App Store. That was a fun episode. Like you and I were just jamming on WhatsApp. We jumped on the next day. It was like this moment in time where there were so many things launched in that dev day. And again, it felt like an Apple-esque. Mm-hmm. It felt like an Apple-esque like launch and demo day. And for us geeks and dorks, like that's super cool. Like new technology, totally new things. Like when you first got the iPhone, and the App Store didn't become the OpenAI App Store didn't become something, but it just opened up your eyes again to like what is possible. And one of the things that I see a lot with AI is you say something about AI and people are like, oh, it's not very good at that today. That's not the way to think about this.
Correct.
You should not think about how good it is today. You should think about how good it is today and comparable to where it was 12 months ago, and that the pace is going to accelerate, not decelerate, right? And so it's going to just continue to evolve at a more rapid pace. So that was one of my favorite moments.
Okay, I think the live inbound pod was certainly a highlight. Those two are definitely up there. Honorable mention is the YouTube commenter that said that you jumped Tony the Tiger for your tiger.
That's one of my favorite comments about that.
That is my
I killed Tony the
comment.
Tiger from one of my cardigans. I ordered 3 more very outlandish sweaters to be delivered over the next week. I'm going to keep my sweater game pretty high.
I'm excited.
That was my favorite comment of the year.
I'll have to bust out a couple fun sweaters as well here.
That was my favorite comment of the year.
My last question. Where do we end up next year? Downloads, views on marketing against the grain. What do you think we're at the end of next year on a monthly basis?
So we're in the range of 2 to 250. We have to be 4 to 450.
I think we got to get to 500,000.
I agree we have to get there, but I will be happy if we fall in that range, and 500 is my stretch.
All right, so your min is 400, your stretch is 500. Yeah. I'm going to take the 500. We're going to get there. The compounding effects start catching up with you once you get over 200 episodes, which, by the way, we are really close to. So 200 show coming in the new year. If you have any ideas for show number 200, drop a comment on the YouTube or hit us up on email or LinkedIn. Welcome your episode 200 suggestions.
We'll have a watch-along party.
This is the last show of 2023. We will see everybody in 2024 on Marketing Against the Grain.
This data is wrong every freaking time.
Have you heard of HubSpot? HubSpot is a CRM platform where everything is fully integrated.
Whoa, I can see the client's whole history, calls, support tickets, emails, and here's a task from 3 days ago I totally missed.
HubSpot. Grow better.